Good morning. My name is John Dixon. I want to start off by asking how many of us knew the answers to these questions or these problems when we first started to walk? Yeah, I know it sounds a little redundant, but how many of us could answer these equations when we first began to talk? I guess the point that I'm trying to make is every one of us had to learn how to do something. Every one of us was taught how to do something. I remember learning, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, learning that to help me get through math and, the parentheses and multiplication, subtraction. And I didn't learn it right off, but I can remember the day that I ran home and asked my mom, hey, who is Aunt Sally? I can remember that, so there are different things that we pick up or learn automatically, but just the whole concept itself, it takes time. It's not something that's learned overnight. And sometimes I feel like we get our students in the classroom, or we may have them half a school year, and we're thinking he should know that, or she should know that. Could it be the teacher? I don't know. Could it be the material? I can't answer that either. But I know today we're going to try some different strategies and different things that we could use in our classroom as a whole, in our mathematics department. Um, there's a gentleman by the name of Grant Wiggins. He stated that there are bad teachers with great plans. Not saying that we have bad teachers, but we do have teachers with great plans that are goal setters, and we fall short in the goal netters part. And what I mean by goal netters, catching the goals and implementing the goals for ourselves, and then rolling it over to the classroom. So today we're going to learn a new strategy. It's called backwards design, and we're going to implement it into our matiques. And of the commissioner of Texas, this is a statement that quote unquote that he put out there. Uh, the state of Texas desire achieve educational excellence that is the driving force behind the Texas essential knowledge and skills for mathematics, guided by college and career readiness and standards. So, per request of a commissioner, we're going to get our scores up, guys. And this is something that we can do. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. Once again, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Not my real aunt, but it took time. I didn't learn it right away. But before we start this process, we're going to come up with mission statements. And when you come up with your mission statement, you need to have the end of the school year in mind. So base your statement on the end results that you're wanting to see from your students inside your classroom. And everybody's mission statement won't be the same. A student's success now can reflect their success in the future, is one that I put out. But once again, everybody's will not be the same. I never teach my pupils. I only provide the conditions in which they can learn. Great Albert Einstein. Okay, how do our students learn best? That's one thing that we need to focus on before we start this process. How do our students learn best? Some students may learn, not some, but most and all students learn differently. Not all of our students are the same. So we have to keep that in mind when using backwards design. Backwards design, the UBD framework emphasizes that the goal of education is ensuring that students develop deep understanding of key concepts and can apply their learning in alternate situations. Students reveal their understanding most effectively when they are provided with complex, authentic opportunities to explain, interpret, apply, shift perspective, empathize, and self-assess. Understanding the UBD design, planning framework, and it has to be aligned with your teaching and the assessments, with the standards and desired outcomes as well. When you teach, you are expecting results that are goal focused. UBD is based upon three types of learning: acquisition of knowledge, learning facts, and basic skills. We're going to talk about the three stages. There are three stages that pertains to backwards design. Stage 1, identify desired results. Stage 2, determine acceptable evidence. Stage 3 is learning and planning. Stage 1, what is being assessed? This comes back to the teachers that lack, and not saying that our teachers lack this, that lack planning. We have to plan what our students are needing to learn. What are we wanting them to learn? We have to have that all in our lesson plans each week. So, and while we pursue that, make sure that we have common goals that our students can reach, some achievable goals. Stage 2, students' achievement. We have to focus on students being goal netters and catching and being able to achieve the things that we put out there. Checking for understanding could be the weekly test, or it could be a 6 weeks test. It could be a book report. Stage 3, planning activities and how will I teach? Provide each student a way to meet their goals. So while we're planning activities, we as a whole need to come up with different strategies and ways to teach our students. I've known teachers teach their students in outside classrooms because of the environment, the whole teaching strategy changed. Provide each student a way to meet their goals. That's the most important part. If we can find ways to do that, we're on. Questions to keep in mind. What should we assess? What should we assess? How we should assess? How do we check progress? Start with the end in mind. Backwards learning is planning with the end in mind, planning with students working toward a common goal. How do we get each student to their goal? Provide opportunities for each student to reach their goal. So that will be the end in mind. Make sure we provide each student an opportunity to reach their goal. But as far as our math teachers, this is what we're doing. We are assessing. We will be assessing numbers of operations, the mathematical process. We'll make sure our kids walk out of these classrooms knowing how to justify mathematical ideas and using precise language, the language of mathematics. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. How students solve problems. And I'm gonna put this back on me. I remember sitting in my math class, how I solve problems. Yeah, it took me a while to stop using fingers. Once I stopped using fingers, I started using stick figures. Yeah, I know we're in the 6th grade and this is middle school, but at the same time, we need to help our students figure out how to solve the basic problems. How we're assessing math. It could be with everyday life situations. As far as counting money, it could be that we're scenario playing, grocery shopping, different tools that we could use. It could be calculators. It could be a register, different things like that. our students are achieving the desired results and understanding of basic math. That's what we're wanting. The students should be meeting standards. We have to figure out what we are assessing. The evidence of understanding is very important to the backwards design. As far as the evaluating process, it could be quiz. It could be a test. It could be academic prompts. It could be informal checks. Uh, we should be assessing a factual information by using open-ended questions. So, as far as assessing our students, the sky's the limit. There are so many different tools that we could use out there to assess our students. As far as the end result, teachers, you have to be motivated. In order for this to work, in order for backwards design, we have to be motivated with the end result. If you're not motivated, your students are not motivated. Before we close this, as far as reaching goals, I'm pretty sure when each one of you passed your math certification test, how excited you was. Your goal when you start studying was, okay, I'm gonna pass this thing. Our students feel the same way. We give them goals, and guess what? They want to be achievers. They want to focus and pass and do all those wonderful things as well. Yeah, I know behaviors get in the way at times, but at the same time, we need to look at the end result. We need to look at the end product. The end product is our students being successful in all the things that they do. Planning your project backwards. Finish the project. Hey, it can actually help to move it forward. I promise you. Thank you for your time. My name is John Dixon. You have a great day.